Well, I'm just, for those of you that are joining, just hearing me kind of sitting here and chatting with our first presenter, Tyler Burke from Training Venue. We actually have two presenters on today's Tech Huddle. Tyler will be our first, and then Jason with Primrose Intel will be our second. So got a couple of really great solutions here today. For those of you that are joining and maybe you've never been on one of these, we do hold these every single week. You can find out the details on the upcoming Tech Huddles that we're doing on disabilitycocoon.com. And I will throw a link to that as well as a link to both of the presenters' websites today, so that you guys can get access to that very, very easily. Just a reminder, I've said this once and I usually run through this. If you've joined us before, you probably heard me ramble before each one of these. But we do keep all of the attendees on mute, so you will not be able to talk or interact. It's just to keep the background noise down. But you can ask questions through the chat. And for those of you that may be unfamiliar with Zoom, just go down to the bottom of the screen, just right below you or below me, I guess. And you'll see the chat bubble. Just click that and it'll pop open the chat. So I'll keep an eye on that. And as you ask the questions, I'll interrupt our presenters and get those questions asked. So for those of you that are also, just to kind of fill a little bit more time here, Tyler, we've got about 60 seconds or another couple minutes and we'll turn it over to you. One of the things that we're doing at Disability Cocoon is basically just trying to create a resource for people to go and discover things. So Tech Huddles are one of those, which you're on right now. The other thing that we're doing is we're holding regional, we call them Tech Fest. They're basically one-day conferences where we're pulling this same kind of content and these same types of solutions into a one-day event that people can get to around the United States. We've held 5 so far. We have 2 more scheduled in 2019. Should be holding a lot more in 2020. But we are also recording every single one of these Tech Huddles and all of the sessions at those technology festivals as well. And we've put together an online Tech Fest, and it's on demand and kind of an ongoing deal too. So all the content that we've ever created from the Tech Fest and from all these Tech Huddles is going to be put in that online and on-demand Tech Fest. And you can get the details of that on disabilitycocoon.com too. So if you like what you see today, there's 80 plus sessions exactly like today from the last year that you can go get there, and then all of the new ones will be added as well. So just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. So Tyler, I am showing right at 12:01 right now. We will turn it over to you. So our first presenter, everyone, on today's Tech Huddle is Tyler Burke from Training Venue. And Tyler, turn it over to you.
All right, well, I appreciate it. It's good to be able to talk about what we're doing and what we have going on. I'll give you a real quick kind of overview of who I am and kind of where I'm coming from. I do think it's slightly relevant, but perhaps not overly impressive. But so I've been in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities for this is my 19th year. And I did start out early on as a direct support professional, later started a provider agency, ran and grew that organization for 7 years before I sold it in 2012 so that I could focus on basically more technology-based solutions, ultimately to help providers and provider agencies not only grow their businesses, but hopefully become more effective in the services that they provide. So we've got a number of different things. Training Venue is one of the solutions that we started developing in 2014. And unlike some of the other educational options out there, this is really geared toward a real collaborative approach within education, within supporting people. And we do, the bulk of our content currently does center around intellectual and developmental disabilities. Long-term vision, we do see this platform growing into sort of all of long-term supports and services. We're already getting into a number of different courses and classes for supporting aging adults, some behavioral health material, physical disabilities, and things as well. So with that being said, I will kind of start off up here on and this is at trainingvenue.com for those of you that want to perhaps check this out. If we jump to the partners page, These are the current partners within the system right now. And as I mentioned, this really is a collaborative approach. So the system is meant to facilitate group. So currently we've got these 7 with the system we facilitate online training for, and we are releasing July 1, we'll be releasing in-person class registration, workshop registration, conferences, live streaming presentations, all of it, so that for everybody within our system, all of our students, and even the agency administrators, we can keep all of those training records in one place, and we can really facilitate some neat things. But I'll get into that a little bit more as we go. So I will throw out there Practical Training Solutions. This is another company that I do own. So you'll see a lot of material from practical training within the system as well. We are very, very actively producing a large amount of content, and we'll be submitting for NADSP accreditation over the next, hopefully 4 or 5 weeks. We expect to have the remaining competencies developed so that we can join the ranks. There's really only 3 other main nationally accredited programs out there by NADSP, so we look forward to coming in as the 4th and really becoming competitive with some of the different state RFPs and some of the different places we're taking our training. Everything within this system from an online course standpoint is all video based. So unlike some of the other main content providers out there that are using sort of those flash players and some of the kind of more traditional online course offerings, everything that we do, it's all interactive video. So, and it's all very, very short. So we break each of the courses down into various lessons. We try to keep them down to 2, 3, 4 minutes. You can see some of these are a little bit longer, 11, 12 minutes, or some of the longer ones that we offer. But the concept behind that is one, not only is it more contemporary, we've got a whole culture of folks, you know, now that grew up on YouTube, and even we can jump on YouTube. Competence-based education. So one of the neat things about our course, our students are complete the course. They're then with
All right. I think we might have just lost Tyler. Tyler, are you there? Yes, I am. I'm getting the same thing, Sarah. Thank you for letting me know. I was wondering if it was just the internet connection on my end, but I think that it appears like it might be Tyler. Tyler, can you hear us?
I can you see me?
We cannot. It looks like maybe your internet connection is a little kind of coming in and out, and we're catching about every other word. Can you click the stop video button on the bottom of your screen, and that will hopefully help with the bandwidth issue. We'll still be able to hear you, but we won't be able to, we'll hopefully cut down on that cutting in and out of your voice by not sharing the video.
That's awesome.
Okay, there we go. Now I've got, sounds like it's a little bit better and we can see your screen again. So.
Okay, I can call in. If that would help, that cut down on some bandwidth issues too.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and go. I think it sounds like the stopping the video might have solved it. So yeah, go ahead, man.
Can you tell me where I was at when I dropped off?
Just a little bit past that slide right there. The next one that you were on, I think.
Okay.
Yep, right about there. If you go, just maybe start from there. And it was a little choppy for a while.
All right. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. It happens.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I was talking about some of the video-based courses and sort of our approach there, where once the student's able to go through and complete the course, they're then left with a list of material that they can go back and pull up in real time in their phone. So the system was designed to be utilized on your phone. So if you are out supporting people in their home, in the community, wherever, you know, best practice way to transfer somebody from their bed to a wheelchair or something. Dustin, your face is looking disappointed. Am I cutting out again?
Just barely. You're good though. Sorry.
Okay. So the point is that they can pull it up on their phone, rewatch a 1 or 2 minute video, become refreshed on that technique or what they're doing, and they can get back to it. So one of the other things that's kind of exciting about what we're doing is we can facilitate career paths. And right now we've got the Arizona Direct Care Worker program in. We are working on contracts to bring in registered behavior technician, credentialing, some of the different other options. CNA be another avenue that we are actively pursuing. So our students can go through and actually jump on and pursue different career ladders and lattices within the field without ever having to start over from the start all the time. So the other part that's unique about the system is we'll be able to facilitate a completely blended model of learning where it's not just online, as I already mentioned, but in person. So in the event of people needing to take even something like CPR and first aid class, or perhaps a proctored exam, our main curriculum, principles of direct support, that is a blended model of learning where the students will go through approximately about 15 hours of online training, and then they can come in and go through a proctored exam and a skills demonstration. So, if we're going to be teaching people how to, to go back to my example of maybe transferring somebody from a bed to a wheelchair, we would actually want to have that direct support professional demonstrate that in front of an approved instructor before we issue that certificate of completion. So it's pretty neat that we can really kind of, from our standpoint, anyway, of bringing together online and in-person material.
Hey, Tyler.
So if we jump back to the main catalog here, you can see sort of the
Quick question for you
Go
that
ahead.
came in. Somebody had asked, are you considering audio descriptions in your videos as well, or is that something that you guys have built in yet, or?
You said audio subscriptions?
Audio descriptions, like closed captioning.
Oh yeah, everything is captioned. Yeah.
Everything is captioned.
Yeah. So very much feel very strongly about all accessibility issues. In fact, that's one of the requirements for any of the partners coming in is that all of the video material is captioned. Great question.
Okay, and I think that the other part of that question was for individuals that may be blind, having either alt text or audio overlay of the videos. Is that how I'm hoping I'm getting that question right. Yeah, she says yes. Okay, thank you, Star.
Yeah, so I mean, all of the videos are at least narrated or having, they'll have audio accompanying each of the videos. And then a lot of the new all of the new modern browsers and different things, there's a number of accessibility issues built in, but we are actually looking at some of the different accessibility standards and actually becoming accredited with some of those different pieces too. But we are, anything that we can do from an accessibility standpoint, fully behind. Obviously, I mean, it's our market. So the more accessible we are, not only the more sales that we have, but just the more user friendly it is.
I'm having to do the same thing, Tyler. I know it's no small task. So.
So let's see. Yeah, we've got. So here's the course catalog. Like I mentioned, this sort of just commingles all the different courses from each one of the different partners. Got some wonderful material here from Elevatus Training. This is a sex education class geared specifically toward intellectual and developmental disabilities that they can go through with their DSP, which is really, really neat. Something that's highly overlooked. Go back. We have a couple of different courses from APSI. Let me scroll back up here. For those of you familiar with the Association for People Supporting Employment First, there's some really, really great material here about transitioning from sheltered work into integrated employment. So anybody out there looking for some assistance there, highly recommend that course. So not to keep boring you and going through individual classes, for those of you interested, you can certainly jump in and check that out. Let me log in and I'll show you what it's like from the administrators, from the agency standpoint. Very, very simple interface. We're really trying to take a minimalist approach to all of our design. So this is the dashboard for an agency when they log in. It's very simple to enroll your employees. This is for, like I mentioned, the agency administrator, where they can start to enroll their different employees to whatever classes they're taking. All of the certificates of completion and training records go straight to the agency, and in fact, we don't release the certificates to the students or to the employees directly if the agency is the one paying for it. That is something that we have found that almost 100% of agencies felt very strongly about it. If they're going to pay for it, then they should not only get access to it, but have exclusive access to it. So if an individual student comes in, then they are in full control, and they've got a similar dashboard where they can maintain all of their training records as well. But to make an enrollment, honestly, it's 2 clicks, and it's you're going to create a student, and then you're going to stick them into a class. Once they're done, certs come in over here, and it's as easy as that. And that would happen whether it's an online class, whether they're attending a conference, whether they're attending a workshop or even a live stream session, CEU material, any of it. So it's a really simple way to keep all your records together. If we jump over to what the actual student dashboard looks like, or the learner dashboard, you can tell for classes, this is a live class enrollment, where they can obviously see what class they're in here. The same class used to be offered online, so all the different online classes get listed down here. I can show you what the actual online class looks like. And this one here is actually resuming at the end of a quiz. But the dashboard here for the online class, it's very simple. We've got the video here, and then the student would come in and and then take a quiz. Every lesson has the same format. It's a video and then a quiz. So for the courses that have a series of 2-minute lessons, let's say, we would actually be quizzing the student every 2 or 3 minutes as they progress through the course. So rather than pushing play and walking away, the student is going to watch a 1 or 2 minute video, and we can have what's typically a single answer, true or false question or something about the main thought, about the main competency that we just taught them. Then we can go through, quiz the student, and then provide correct or incorrect feedback based upon their response, and then progress them through. We can have a live chat with the instructor for select courses. So for the partners that have live instructors, they can actually designate an instructor in real time to be chatting with students, answering questions, and having that interaction with them as well. It's not required, but it is available for partners that do want that functionality. If we jump back to a different course.
Hey, Tyler, quick question, and I think that I might have missed this one in an earlier, it was kind of a dual question.
Sure.
Do the people that are going through the training have the ability to go back and kind of rewatch videos or retake a course, or is it do they take it once and then that they take the quiz and success or not?
It's a great question. So the first time you go through and complete the course, we do mandate that you go through the video and then complete the quizzes. Once you complete the course, then you get access to the playlist of videos where you can go in and rewatch that material without being forced to take quizzes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is just another example of a course that doesn't have the live chat. So it's very, very simple. Everything's responsive, and we've mentioned already, being able to take this on your phone. Really believe that's the future. So in fact, we're finding that most students, in fact, don't even have computers anymore, but prefer to take this stuff on their phone. So that's really was a huge focus for our design and development. So that's kind of that as far as the operation of the system. The other piece that I will say is this is the part that we're launching in July, July 1, and this is the live class enrollment. So this is all going to be done on state-specific enrollment pages. So this is Arizona's, where you can see here on the map, we've got a map of all the different training venues, and then each of the classes that are offered within this region. A lot of this stuff, like you can tell, we have CPR and first aid and some different things. So as we bring in more partners in other states and other regions, we can offer a very simple interface for agencies or our students to, like I said, enroll in either the in-person or online classes. So, and this will be something, and Dustin, I'm sure I'll be hitting you up later for even some of this would be very appropriate, right? Even for tech huddles or any type of, live event. And it's something that we're finding that more and more folks are wanting from even a CEU management and some of the CEU tracking. And a lot of our providers that do online training offer conferences and live training as well. So, even APSI, for instance, and some of those we're hoping that we'll be able to bring in and really integrate all of that process into one single place. And it makes, for our partners, it's an easy sort of marketing opportunity as well. Bring in a few hundred folks for a conference. Oh, by the way, here's some online classes that you can, that we've produced as well, and different things. So it's pretty fun.
Very neat.
Yeah. A couple other kind of final thoughts. I know we're kind of getting short here on time. We have started some placement options where we are actually sourcing candidates and workers that want to come in and become direct support professionals or registered behavior technicians or some of the different job types that we facilitate through the program, where we actually go through the background checking, pre-screening, and initial vetting of that candidate, and allow that student to go through the training, get the state required material, and then we can market them to agencies for hiring. And our program now is we do all of that at no cost for the student or for the candidate, where they can come in, we provide all the training to them, and then we can submit a placement profile or an electronic profile of that candidate to agencies. As we know, all the agencies are always hiring, right? And then they can go through and see their availability, background information, the training that they've completed, and then if they want to make that candidate a job offer, they can do that, and then the agency would then pay us that placement fee, and we would transfer all their training records over. So we really feel like that's a big opportunity for us, certainly as our footprint for our in-person partners increase, our ability to really be able to source new direct support workers grows exponentially. And that's, I mean, as we know, right, I mean, that's such a huge need to continue to grow the workforce. So really excited about that.
Is that, how are you going to be rolling that out, Tyler? Sorry, my lights keep turning off on me. I got to move around here to turn the lights on. How are you guys rolling that out? Starting in, I'm assuming, specific geographic areas around the United States based on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So based on the programs within the system. So now we are currently running that program in Arizona. As I mentioned, I do own one of the partner companies of Practical Training Solutions. We've got classrooms around the state. So we're actually getting under contract with different managed care organizations to do that very thing, where MCOs are paying us directly to market and train new workers so that we can then place them within that MCO network. So that's something that we really feel is kind of a big part of our future. So we're actively looking for new partners all the time to come in different regions and states so that we can duplicate that program.
Interesting. So yeah, it sounds like obviously the training requirements would be different state to state, obviously, right?
They are, and every state is different on what they require in person too. So even if it's as simple as, you know, CPR and first aid, the fact that we can facilitate all of that becomes for the first time really in our field, a start to end solution to get folks credentialed and ready to work.
That's powerful.
And the last thing, and I'll go through the other piece, is we have built the technology so that we can deploy our courses through third-party systems. So we are targeting electronic visit verification companies primarily because we know that those, everybody will be under a mandate to be complying with EVV. Direct support professionals are going to have a phone on them. They're going to have that. And what they don't want is to be interfacing with 9 different systems. So we can actually deploy accredited training, a state-specific training through EVV systems. The student can take the class within the EVV system, and we can connect on the back end and issue certificates of completion and training records, and then push that back and populate the EVV platform with those training records as well. So really excited about the application of that as we continue to go to.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are staying busy.
We've got more going on than, that's why I've got a cup of coffee in my hand. I don't sleep a whole lot.
What time is it in Arizona right now? I never know if you're Pacific or Mountain based on daylight savings time.
Well, we jump back and forth. Yeah, we're coming up on 9:30.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, Tyler. If anybody has any last minute questions for Tyler, go ahead and throw them there in the chat, and I'll keep an eye on that here in just a couple of seconds. Jason, I'm going to go ahead and our next presenter promote you to panelist. And Tyler, thank you for hanging with us through the internet issues. I think we made it work, and everybody was able to hear most of your content. So it was worked out. So thank you again for joining us last minute.
Thanks, Dustin.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tyler.